President Trump's explosive threat to wipe out an entire civilization in Iran has ignited a political firestorm and has sparked intense debate over his mental fitness and even triggered a wave of calls for his removal from office. While pressure on Trump is increasing in Washington even after the sudden announcement of a two-week ceasefire, more than 85 Democratic lawmakers have now called for action against the POTUS, with some even urging impeachment and others pushing for the invocation of the 25th Amendment despite the temporary truce with Iran. Many Democrats have made it clear already their demands are not going away. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio has reiterated that the ceasefire changes nothing and has further accused Trump of making genocidal threats and insists that he must be removed. Lawmakers like Sri Thanedar and Jasmine Crockett have formally written to the Vice President and even Cabinet calling for Trump to be declared unfit for office. Also, Representative John Larson has gone a step further and introduced articles of impeachment against Trump. Representative Melanie Stanperry echoed that sentiment, saying every available constitutional tool from impeachment to the 25th Amendment must be considered. The backlash has not been limited to the United States alone. Global leaders have also weighed in and sharply criticized the language used by the US President. Australian Prime Minister and French Foreign Minister have warned that such rhetoric is inappropriate and even risks escalating tensions further.
I think it's appropriate to use language such as that from the President of the United States, and I think it will cause some concern, which is there.
There's been a strong moral rebuke from the Vatican as well, with the Pope calling any threat against an entire population as unacceptable and raises both legal and ethical concerns.
Today, as we all know, there has also been this threat against the entire people of Iran, and this is truly unacceptable. There are certainly issues of international law here, but even more so, a moral issue for the good of the whole entire population.
In fact, this is not the first time that Trump has faced intense criticism over his words. Just days earlier, a fiery social media post triggered targeting Iran filled with expletives and direct threats of military action had already sparked outrage. Trump defended his language, saying strong words were necessary to send out a message. So the question is, what is this provision and why is this suddenly at the center of fiery political debate in Washington? Well, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment provides a constitutional mechanism to remove a president who is deemed unfit to discharge the duties of office. It can be triggered by the Vice President and a majority of the cabinet who formally declare the president incapable. And once that happens, the vice president immediately becomes acting president. The president can in fact challenge this decision, but if that does happen, the final call shifts to the Congress. The roots of this amendment go back to a moment of national trauma, the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963, which exposed a critical gap in the US Constitution. What happens if a president is unable to serve but cannot declare it? Well, in response, Congress proposed the amendment in 1965. Section 4 was specifically designed for situations where a president is incapacitated but unwilling or unable to step aside. And as the calls grow louder, impeachment is not an uncharted territory for Donald Trump. During his first term, he was impeached twice by the House of Representatives, which was first in 2019 over his dealings with Ukraine, and again in 2021 following the Jan 6 Capitol attack. He was acquitted by the Senate on both occasions.